Hello, welcome once again to 7 Deadly Sins 2011. Welcome to my channel as we're ready for another retro gaming session. Well, the last few videos have gone pretty decently, all things considered, and even though I'm still not the person with the most subscribers in the world, that's fine, that's part of growth. Today we are going to have another Let's Play with commentary, again, very much like the previous video, pre-recorded, well not pre-recorded, post-recorded. I'm recording the voiceover for this video after I have already done the gameplay, so none of it is spoilers for me, but it might be for you, and I'm going to try not to spoil anything. Today we're going to be playing the first half of Mega Man, the original 1987 video game for Nintendo Entertainment System. I'm playing this with Nestopia, which is the same emulator I used off of RetroArch. This is the RetroArch core of Nestopia. And it's the same emulator that I used to play tennis a couple of weeks ago. Was it a week ago? A couple of weeks ago? Whatever. And we're going to be playing this classic all the way through, but this is going to be just the first half of the game. So the first three bosses. Well, whatever you want to call them. The stages. The first three stages. Or at least three stages. Let it be known before I start recording my gameplay here that I suck at this game. I've never played Mega Man before. This was my first experience, and you're probably gonna see the recording, the video, chopped up to little pieces. Don't be surprised because I used save states a lot, and I had to because I died left and forth. But it was all done for good purpose. I tried to edit this video the most thorough and most coherent way possible so that you enjoy the full gameplay as if it were a singular experience and not something that was edited to little pieces. So yeah, let's get started. Yeah, I wasted no time and I went straight to Gutsman. Let it be known though that the reason why I did that is because I saw a little guide online that said that Gutsman was the easier, well not the easier, but like that his weakness was the Mega Buster. Let it be known though that I did not know that weaknesses included guns that you could actually use after beating each of the bosses. So yeah, a little spoiler here is that I did not use, at any point of this recording, I did not use any of the weapons that I won after beating each stage. I only used the Mega Buster, because I didn't know you could use those other weapons. So yeah. Call it boss level. Well, not boss, what am I saying? Call it epic level of difficulty, Mega Man. That's me being a showboat right there, but yeah. This little bit on Gutsman's stage was the hardest bit in the entire stage. Surprisingly, the stage isn't as difficult as this little bit of platform. And yet, ironically, it took me the most time to try to get this done. Again, you only saw that once, but it actually happened multiple times. So yeah. I forget the name of those like Hammerman or something. I forget the name. But yeah, this was certainly not one of the easiest levels in the game. What am I saying? No. What I mean is that this was actually the easiest level in the game that I had to beat so far. Sometimes I mess my words. I apologize. But yeah, this was the easiest level in the game, and even then, it was pretty difficult. So, games were just made differently in the 80s. I was wondering whether or not I could jump up there and get that live. So this is Big Eye, and I didn't even bother trying to beat him. I just ran away. Well, I did try to beat him, but as you can see, it was useless. So I was better off just running away. Beating these enemies was all about learning their patterns, and we're all about learning precise timing. Oh, that's not entirely precise timing. But yeah, this game is all about precision. It's unforgivable in regards to how its platforms and its enemies are all about very difficult patterns, and if you, well, there you go, I just lost my line. But it's all about learning patterns, and it's all about realizing that you need to do things in very specific ways with extreme precision, so yeah. And again, I collected all those little things that weren't lives or extra HP without knowing that I could actually use them for extra weapons. So here's Gutsman, the boss battle. This guy with the way that he shook the ground made it very difficult. But I learned that the Mega Buster is actually one of his main weaknesses, so it took me less time to beat him than it would take other bosses, or at least that it took the other two bosses that I wound up facing. At this point, I thought I was dangerously close to dying again, because, again, you're not seeing the recordings of the other times I failed to beat the boss, but there you go. I wound up beating Gutsman. So that's boss number 1. Now you know how to beat the Gutsman stage in Mega Man 1. Well, after that, I went to this one, Cutman. This was actually the first stage that I tried to beat. You didn't see the recording of that because I died so many times that I ended up, and I started and finished recording an insane amount of times. I did so many unfinished recordings where I would start recording, and then because my progress in this level was so lame, I ended up restarting the whole thing. In this particular recording, I didn't even use the Cutman stage as first stage. I just went with Gutsman first, and then went into this one. So you're gonna see me move through this one a little bit faster. That's because I had already learned the quirks of that stage a little more. These guys are so annoying. But another side note though, the music! The music in this level is so good! And again, as I said, you might be thinking to yourself, why aren't you using that gun? I don't know which gun it is that I won after beating Gutsman's stage. I didn't even know you could use it, so I straight up ignore that part of the game altogether. At least for the first 3 stages. In the next couple ones, I probably won't use it. Yeah. And, well, this was really not as hard the 100th time, and probably less frustrating than having this in the previous stage that I beat. But as I said before, I had tried beating this stage even before that. And you're never gonna see that because those attempts were so lame. In my defense, though, this was the first time I played this game. I was not prepared. Yeah, my levels of precision are sometimes a little off. But nevertheless, I take the fact that I didn't flawless at all. I was very lucky that I got hit by those block things. Stone Man, maybe? I don't know. My experience with Mega Man started all the way back when I was a kid, but not even necessarily with any of the games, but more so with the NT Warrior anime show. Does anyone remember that? Which is actually based off of I'm not sure if it's a spin-off series or just a side series of sorts of the original Mega Man games. which were actually called Mega Man Battle Network. Battle Warrior? No. Battle Network, or Mega Man.exe. It was something along those lines. It was a series of games that was released on PS2 and DS and all that, and they made an anime series, and that was how I started learning about Mega Man. But in hindsight, I called these block things Stone Man. That's not Stone Man. I don't want to sound like I'm incredibly ignorant. I know a couple things, mostly from the anime. I know that all of the anime characters are based on the games. So, yeah. Except one character who was created off scratch. I'm not sure for the anime or for the Battle Network game. It's called Proto Man. Or at least if I'm not wrong, that was a character created for scratch for the Battle Network series. Maybe I'm wrong though. Correct me in the... Just ignore the TikTok thing. Yeah. And, right now it may seem like I'm an expert at this level because I haven't died once. But again, I did die many, many times before this particular recording. Have I said that enough? Have I said enough times that I died a lot trying to make this? My effort was not in vain though, so I'm glad. Yeah, at that point I just straight up legged it. The hell with dealing with the block things again. Didn't really have anything to say there because I was just focused on seeing the recording. I have ADHD, so yeah, I will reiterate that again. I have ADHD, so sometimes you may see me wander off into daydream land. But honestly, there wasn't much to say. Again, me skipping the big eye thing because there's just nothing to do. There probably would have been if I remembered to use the special weapons, but I did not. It was as if Alright. Boss stage number 2. Cutman. This guy was so annoying. And again, you're not gonna see the God knows how many different attempts at beating him. Well, here I died with my life. So here's me trying it again. Yeah, these turnip things are also very annoying. Yeah, and it's a really cool game though, I have to say. It's an extremely rewarding game. And I enjoy playing it quite a bit. So this is me just straight up spamming the Mega Buster in hopes that it gets Cutman once and for all. And, it worked. And again, I got a special weapon there, but I'm not going to use it because I did not know I could. And, well, we're going to move to the next stage. Ignore the cross dissolve that you just saw because I chose Iceman stage. There was an issue with the recording because this is a second video that I recorded and I'm editing the two together. But for some reason I was unable to capture the transition to the Iceman stage. But nevertheless, it's Iceman stage. This was the toughest level that I've had to beat so far, and I've seen some people say it's actually the toughest level in the game. These, for the record, these moving things that move in the water are probably the most annoying element in the entire game, aside from the penguins. All of these super annoying things that are in this level frustrated me more than anything else. Here I was able to get through it. Oof. I was about to slide off. But yeah. I was fooled by getting that much life, that much HP that I was going to get through this level safely. Oh boy. Now here comes the part of the recording where I probably would snap if I could. This bit of the disappearing blocks was the worst thing in the world. This thing fucking sucked. I apologize for the cussing there, but I'm gonna say it again. It fucking sucked. Okay, I think even experts at Mega Man must say that this is one of the worst bits in the entire game. To be fair though, I could have solved it a lot sooner, and as you just saw, I died there. Not just died, well, I still actually have one more life. But I died there, and it's the worst bit, one of the worst bits in the game because the pattern is not that easy to learn, and it's actually tricky. It may seem that it's one thing, but it's not really what it seems. I had to search and pull up a YouTube walkthrough to get past this bit, and I'm not ashamed about admitting that. I had to use a walkthrough. I don't care. I'll straight up admit that I'm a loser, and I know that I suck at this game. But whatever. At least I'm not lying to anyone. There's far worse things to lie about than that. I don't care about my reputation at this point. Yeah, so at this point I straight up gave up and started from scratch. There's still another life before, actually. I thought I was going to restart the whole thing. But yeah, unbelievable that I had to go through this hell. And I'm blah-blah-blahing a lot, so I keep you guys entertained from seeing the same thing over and over again. Just me trying to fail to cut across the blocks. And now I even vain attempts to try to defeat the water thing, which I don't. And there you go. I think this time was just... There you go, a game over screen. Obviously I continued, because I'm not going to give up until I get this thing done. But I had to go through from the beginning, and the scoreboard, the final score of the game, is gone. I had beaten Iceman and Gutsman for nothing. Yeah, the penguins and the water bit again is like a hellacious combination. Was there any penguin that I managed to get? Well, there was one penguin that I managed to not be hit by. Not the same, that one. Oh. Alright, there was a lot of luck. Don't be fooled. Yeah, I'm doing this whole bit again, as you can see. Just before I re-enter the whole disappearing blocks thing. But this was around the point, well, maybe not now. This was around the point in which I went to the internet, went to YouTube, and straight up had to see how to beat this part. And that's how I realized that you have actually to wait on top of one of the older blocks and not jump to one of the newer ones, but wait until one of the other ones showed up, as you could see there. It may seem easy, but it's anything but. It's very tricky. There was also this whole bit that I also had to learn through walkthroughs. And I think there's going to be more in the lack of this stage. Still, at this point I had already realized how am I supposed to get through it. lot of faint attempts, though. To be fair, not everything is my fault, I'll say that. Sometimes the game bugs, and there's this particular part of this particular stage that is infamous for being buggy, and I've went through some bugs myself. Sometimes it's just the input delay straight up doesn't work. I'm not gonna take the blame for everything here, guys. My guys, girls, and non-binary, whatever you may, whenever you may identify as, I will not take the blame on everything because this game sometimes went through some stupid input delay that screwed me over a couple times. Particularly in these tricky platform stages. So yeah, I made it to this part of the game, which is what I was talking about earlier. This part of the game is infamous for being kind of buggy. I sometimes, and a couple of times in previous recordings that again you I got hit by one of these platform things and fell through, which I don't think is supposed to happen. And as if it wasn't enough, the penguins come back too. At least I was able to beat this part. So yeah, big eye again. Straight up skipped him this time because fuck that. Although I did not realize that I could get rid of him easily with the other guns. Penguins again. And at least at this point, you don't respawn a while before, so you just restart right before the final stage. The boss. The boss. And finally, we have Iceman. This is the final bit of the video. So, for the record, I've heard that this bit you can get through very easily if you beat Iceman's stage and use his weapon. I did not even realize you could use different weapons, so I went the old school way and I beat Iceman, or at least I tried to face him, with the Mega Buster. So I had to learn the pattern of his, of the way that his attacks go. And, the very frustrating thing is that even though he only sends these ice things, he only uses these ice things, you can get through it regardless. You basically just have to be extremely precise with your platform. Especially since the ice things can take out a lot of health really fast. But yeah, I was able to get the third weapon, which I believe is a freezing gun. I'll probably be able to show all of them in the next video of Mega Man. So yeah, half of the game complete. I hope to see you again next time, and I'll see you soon. Bye!